Welcome back to the Bejeweled podcast, where we try to keep the content fresh while the gameplay does not. I'm Joel, I'm the FNF121, and I have no opinions on fashion anymore.
And I'm Jyozak, and I had the saltiest fries imaginable a few hours ago.
He told me that. It was from Wendy's. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 20th. Wow, 20. Over 3 years, Jyozak. My goodness.
Yeah.
20 podcasts.
I just had to check the audio. It's good.
It's good, yeah, indeed. Welcome to the 20th Bejeweled podcast. Today is a very easy topic. Nintendo Direct, the 2023 February at least. And boy, we have a lot to discuss about, let's just say.
Yes.
Mostly all of the games, we have the list on our phones. Hopefully, bring some fresh content to the table. If you guys are hyped for another Bejeweled podcast here on the channel, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for content if you're new, follow Jyozak over here, and ring that bell. You can find any table on the channel. Last podcast on the card up here. Also, a slight plug for those watching. If you have not noticed on my Twitter, I've been posting my Super Mario Odyssey adventures every single day, well, at least I'm trying to. So if you want to see how I'm doing with that game, check out my Twitter to get the updates regularly. With that said, shall we discuss Direct?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, let me just bump up. And 3, 2, 1. Hang on. Now we do it. Oh, wait, I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah.
Apparently it's been a while since I've done it. I forgot I pressed the wrong mode. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Looks like it's saved. Alright, so Hoi. I think I should have sent a sentiment to some of my friends who I know from Luna Heights Arcade that this probably might be one of the best directs, if not the best.
Yeah. I mean, started out with Pikmin, which was not expecting, but yeah, the stuff that they showed off, it I was kind of expecting that maybe there was gonna be a little bit of a delay into next year, but no, it feels pretty confident that, or I feel pretty confident that it's gonna be, well, I mean, they announced a release date, so yeah, it is coming out this year.
Yeah, and boy, now that they finally did it, it's confirmed. Everyone has seen it. Opinions-wise, I mean, we see a dog.
Yeah.
And we immediately fall in love with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, I think it's the first time they ever had, like, a companion, quote-unquote, in Pikmin.
Yeah, that wasn't just an additional captain.
Exactly.
Like, for one thing, it can carry, like, Pikmin across water. That's... I imagine the way that's probably going to be nerfed so that it's not OP is that you can only carry a certain amount of Pikmin on the dog. But, I mean, if the body of water that you're traversing is small enough, you could just carry one batch of Pikmin over, run back, grab more, and eventually just get your whole squad to where you need them to be. But maybe they thought of that. I don't know.
That's true. Another thing to notice is that this is not a crash landing, unlike Pikmin 3. This is a proper landing that we see with characters that I admittedly kind of associated with some others.
Yeah.
For those who haven't watched my reaction to the Direct, which if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna plug it up here. I remember saying like, "Oh, this looks like some of the captains from like Pikmin 1 and 2, Louis and Olimar. Actually, Alf looked as though was in it, but most of the other ones is like, I've never seen them before."
Right.
Do you think this is gonna be a entirely new cast though?
I think so. Yeah. Because, like, even though we have Pikmin 3 Deluxe on the Switch, it's not an original game, So I could see them making entirely new cast. Yeah.
I can see that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, don't really have much else to say outside of that.
Yeah, I just can't wait for that game to come out and see. It looks polished, and I mean similar art style, but of course it's Pikmin. Why would you think they would change the art style? But I really enjoyed the looks of it. The one thing I'm interested though is that we noticed that some bosses. I think the one boss we noticed straight away was well, what do you call it? Baldy Jank legs, something like that.
Yeah, whatever that's called.
Like, is it a return or is it a brand new mutation? We'll have to find out soon enough.
Yeah, it's either a same enemy from previous games, or it is a permutation from previous games.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to find out soon enough once it comes out. Next up on the list, Xenoblade 3 Volume 3. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't have much to say.
I mean,
I don't play the game.
Yeah, but what very... I mean... Oh, what was it? Yeah, no, it was this... Wait. Yeah, it was this one. Did Volume 4 kind of strike you for a second there? Like the DLC?
It's an RPG. You think I paid attention?
Yeah, I mean... Not as much as another DLC I'll talk about later, but at the same time, I think one thing to note is that some of the previous characters came back or something like that. But that's for Volume 4, which we'll have to find out in due time. So I'm curious to see what they do with this final DLC, which it looks to be the final DLC, but we'll have to see if they end up milking that game later. Because I doubt there will be a Xenoblade 4 anytime soon. Let alone possibly even on the Switch.
Right. That's probably going to be saved for whatever Nintendo's next system is going to be.
Yeah.
So.
Can't see them making any more unless maybe a side series. We already know that one other franchise does side series, but we'll talk about that later too. But I feel like now maybe it could be the great time to do some like side plots of any of the other characters.
Yeah.
Even before they do like a Hero Pawn like side story, that'll be quite cute.
Yeah.
Master Pawn. Anyways, my next thing to note, let's see here, I'm on the list. Samba the Amigo. I actually call it Senior Amigo on my original list.
Oh.
But hello. First, didn't Sega say they wanted to get revive another franchise?
I think so, yeah.
They finally did it.
And of all things, it was Samba de Amigo.
I mean, to be fair, who doesn't like a Samba monkey?
Yeah. What even does Samba mean?
Samba? Samba is a dance.
Oh.
So it kind of makes sense, and it looks like to be more of a rhythm game, if anything. But it looks good. But the fact that that's the first game they have released since 1999.
Wow.
That's I mean, it's nice to see they are doing this, but if anything, maybe Sega's trying to bring back some other franchises. Oh wait, let's be honest. Sonic Frontiers did fantastic. It's not like they have to try and like bring back a series, but I guess they decided on the whim, hey, let's do it. And it looks like the game is pretty slick.
Yeah, and being able to take Joy-Con in each hand and doing it that way, because didn't the original release come with like actual maraca controllers?
Oh, did it?
That was my understanding.
Now the Joy-Con are your maracas. So basically, it's the same game, but slightly less realistic on your hands.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, on eBay, I see someone's selling the maracas.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Actually, that's quite cool.
I'm just gonna grab a quick screenshot and just send it to you right there, so then you can see what they look like.
That'd be quite cool. Still, that definitely sounds interesting though. The fact that it's proper maracas back in the days. Of course, now maybe less realistic, but it still has that same feel, you could say. So that's quite neat.
Yeah, and you don't need the special like extra peripheral basically in order to play the game. It's just the controllers that already come with your system, unless you're using a Switch Lite.
That's true. Do you think they will actually? Does it possibly mean other franchises they might bring back though, or is it just a one-off?
I don't know enough about Sega to really say.
And I feel like I don't know. Wait, no, it's not Super Monkey Ball. What am I saying? Actually, is Super Monkey Ball one of them?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we did have Reroll, I believe, didn't we? Or something like that.
Well, Banana Mania.
Thank you, Banana Mania. There was that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of anything else. I don't know why Echo the Dolphin is coming to my brain, unless that is a franchise, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was on the Genesis.
Oh yeah, but yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't remember too much from Sega All Stars Racing Transform to really say much either. But it'll be quite cool if they end up bringing back some more brands that Sega had made. Oh, even before Gunstar Heroes. Even before that.
Yeah.
That'll be quite sick, actually. All right. Next up, I want to talk. Oh, this one. We both said no opinion. I'm going to stay as no opinion. Fashion Dreamer.
Yeah.
It's like, as someone who doesn't even bother what I wear when I go out sometimes, it's like, okay, this I guess exists.
Yeah, I did hear that Fashion Dreamer is made by the same devs as what is it? Style Savvy. That series back on the DS and 3DS. And people spoke pretty highly about that series, so I mean, this shouldn't be any different. But it's not a game that probably either of us are gonna play.
No. Maybe watch,
No.
but just to see what it looks like, but no. It seems like a fashionistic Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Which if someone out there does play Animal Crossing for the fashion, honestly, having a game where that's the focus is probably someone's dream game out there, but I don't know if there's a lot of people that play Animal Crossing just for the fashion, so...
Yeah. The only thing they want to fashion is who are their neighbors.
Right.
So it's like a little bit awkward, but who knows? Maybe it will do well. I mean, we'll never know. Some people have interesting tastes, let's just say.
Yeah.
This one. I mentioned this, I mentioned Jonas Neubauer about this. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's Castlevania-themed DLC for Dead Cells.
Yeah, that sounds about right. My only thing I'm gonna say is, man, I wish Jonas was still around so he can actually try that out, because that looks the game itself, even from aesthetic-wise, looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine Jonas not wanting to play it if he was still around.
Right.
So, and for those who are wondering why I say Jonas Neubauer, he's the 7-time world champion of Tetris, who unfortunately passed away actually almost 2 years to the date. So that's why I'm thinking of him right now. But that aside, I would say that the game looks pretty good. I myself don't really know Dead Cells too well, but at least I know it's like a more of a Metroidvania, as suggested by the name. Yeah, I actually, from what I've watched from Jonas, it actually looks quite polished.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of gameplay myself, and yeah, looks super fun if you're into Metroidvanias, and I think it's a roguelike, if memory serves.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe it is roguelite.
So, someone that is into both of those, then yeah, it's Dead Cells is like your dream game.
Yeah, they probably will be dead set in playing it. Next up on the list, by the way, let's see. I had the keyboard's kind of like blocking my list. DecaPolice. I say not DecaPolice. Tron Identity, excuse me.
Yeah.
I forgot. Actually, I forgot about that one. It really interested me as much. You?
Yeah. No, it's this was the second game. The first one was the DLC for Xenoblade, where I just completely tuned out. I wasn't really aware of this until someone pointed it out, but typically with major directs like these, we start out with something first party like Pikmin, and then for the first half, it's mainly just third party stuff. So when someone pointed that out to me, it's like, oh yeah, that's why I always kind of tune out the first half of a lot of directs, is because a lot of it is third party, and it's kind of up in the air if I'm actually interested in the third party stuff.
I mean, for me, I feel like that's slightly of an unhealthy way to do it. For me, I like try my best to at least pay attention to it. Although if the genre is not really of my type, like first-person shooters, then I might accidentally zone out, because I'm just like, especially with what the worlds I've talked about last podcast, I myself wouldn't be as interested in those kind of games. Next up on the list, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. The funny thing is that when I was looking at it, I immediately thought yokai, because I just realized that franchise has not seen the light of day in quite some time, actually.
Yeah. So, I was first made aware of Ghost Trick, I think, some stream that Proton John played. I'm pretty sure it was last year. I don't know if he did a proper game clearing or if it was just for a fortune cookie segment, but just from the little bit that I did watch, it's like, okay, yeah, I am very much so interested in trying this out. And now that it's on Switch, I guess I'm gonna be playing it. For those who don't know, Ghost Trick, you possess different items in whatever area you're in, and you're trying to prevent the death of a specific character through various means. So
yeah,
that's basically the gist. And yeah, it's great that one of these games that's just never seen the light of day outside of its original platform is coming to Switch.
Yeah, more limelight on third parties. I feel like third-person parties. I feel like really right now, I think more third-person parties are getting more light, which is great. May not attract those who are like more than the purists, but at the same time, it's good to see that at least more people outside of like first-person parties are getting like the spotlight, which I think should be a good thing for the gaming world. Alright, next one is actually finding a game that I put on my list, DecaPolice.
Yeah. I remember nothing about this game. What does this look like?
I mean, all I can say is cubes.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
let's see. Okay, yeah, it's this game. Um, yeah, I mean, looks interesting enough, but yeah, I don't know if I'm actually gonna play it or not.
I mean, oh boy, was this the game that had the similar art style to Danganronpa? Or is it made the same company?
It definitely looks similar. Let I'm loading up their YouTube channel. It's made by, or at the very least, it's on the YouTube channel for Level 5, which is not the Danganronpa devs, that's Spike Chunsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Spike is doing a game that we'll be talking about later, but
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, I mean, DecaPolice looks interesting enough.
Well, I mean, definitely interesting, like, detective kind of game. I mean, man, back-to-back detective games now I think about it.
Yeah, so was it last Direct or whenever it was, like the theme was farming sims?
I think that was wait. Oh, no, yeah, I think it was last direct, yeah. Last time was farming, this one, I wouldn't say detective per se, but at least there's a bit more of a vibe there.
Yeah, the genre with the most representation, at least it felt like it was detective slash mystery games.
Yeah. Definitely that kind of, that vibe that was there.
Yeah, has some what looks to be action RPG elements. Or I don't know if it is it action RPG or is it just regular RPG?
I think it looks like action RPG because there is some fighting and back now and then in this one I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to scroll back more in the footage to see. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of action, how about a almost like It Takes Two clone?
Let's see.
And of that I mean Bayonetta Origins.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest, when I first looked at it, I'm like, wow, actually they finally decided to have a side story, which is great. And honestly, might be the best for Bayonetta because, for me, it allows like people to actually really look at the other characters. I feel like all the focus was mostly just on Bayonetta, and since they only had like 3 games and that was the core series, a side game really makes sense in this case now that there's so many characters with underlying storylines that people may be interested in.
Right, yeah. Yeah, hold on. I have to pull up the
video. Well,
gameplay footage.
Yeah.
Just to refresh my brain.
No worries. As you do that, I'll just say, I did mention a slight Takes Two clone, where in the sense that you have the big guy and Cereza working together. Although I'll be honest, the art style looks so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're really in this latter half of the Switch's life, where typically once you're in that latter half, developers have worked with the hardware enough to really get the most out of said hardware. So that's when we start seeing games with cleaner visuals and better visuals. Although this is more stylized, but the fact that it's running as smooth as it is on Switch, it looks to be a solid 30 frames per second.
Yeah, around there.
But with a more I guess you could call it a casual hack and slash action game, like that's totally serviceable. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Now the next one,
Yeah.
oh boy. Next
Go
one was
back
the one
to
I
it.
remember, as I said, keeping content fresh, and meanwhile, Splatoon is also keeping themselves fresh with the expansion pack. And the first thing already to say is, oh my goodness, they brought back Splatoon 1.
Yeah, so they're okay, so they announced the Splatoon 3 expansion pack, which I was disappointed that they didn't call it the Explashin pack.
Come
Because
on, that would have
Splatoon
been
loves
too.
its puns.
Come on, that would have been too.
Splatoon loves its puns. It is not above making puns.
But come on, that would have been too easy. Not so you and me have been paying attention to each other's puns, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got you,
Water.
I got you.
The water almost went down the wrong pipe, so.
I mean, in all seriousness, boy, I got a very big freak out. I'm not too sure about you when you first saw it, but boy, I'm glad that DecaPolice is back.
Yeah. So DecaPolice is the first wave of 2 for the expansion pass, and really, it's just a reskin of the hub, which, I mean, the fact that it's, the first game that some people may have, like, legitimate nostalgia for, even though that was only 7 years ago, but, I mean, I have nostalgia of the 3DS when I was playing it back then, so I don't blame them. Yeah, it functions the same as, I forget the name of the plaza in Splatoon 3.
No, that one I don't know.
Yeah, but basically, you have access to all the same things. It is just a reskin. You do get to see Callie and Marie perform during the Splatfests, but they're probably also going to be back doing the news whenever you open up the game, and let's say if you were in DecaPolice the last time you played, you'll probably, whichever hub you were using last, it's probably going to default you into that when you load up the game, so we'll be able to see them report on the battle stages that are in rotation, just like the first game.
Of course, they will have to change it. Of course, they'll have to change it to fit the Splatoon 3 way of doing it, right?
Yeah, and it'll get to a point where, like, people will still just click the left stick and just skip the news, because you can finally do that in 3. Yeah. So, the first wave, I think, really is just to tie people over until Wave 2 comes out, which is going to be the, like, what do they call it? The, like, large-scale paid DLC. They're calling it Side Order. And in the rather artsy teaser that they showed, I don't think more people noticed, but the area that the character was in, that's the Splatoon 2 hub. I didn't see too many people realize that in reaction videos. I saw like 1 or 2, but immediately it's like, wait, that's the hub for 2.
Except all in all white.
Yes, so, and another thing that I don't think enough people picked up on, but it's called Side Order, and the quote-unquote final fest for Splatoon 2
was between Order and Chaos.
Yeah, and Chaos won. So whatever that entails, it definitely feels like we're gonna learn about Marina's backstory, at least a little bit. I don't know the full extent, I just know the gist, but there's apparently a lot of lore and depth between Pearl and Marina from Splatoon 2, I'm pretty sure it gets into some like legitimately heavy stuff, but I don't know where exactly you would have to look to find that. That's just the gist that I've heard from some people. And so yeah, but those same people were like picked up on these cues in the side order teaser. And it's just like, oh, are we gonna actually learn about her backstory? Because, you know, up until Splatoon 2, like, everyone just played as Inklings. And for the first, like, year of Splatoon 2, all the playable characters were Inklings, but once the Octo expansion came out, then, you know, people started playing as Octolings, and that kind of plays into the lore of Octolings joining the society that Inklings have already been in for who knows how long. Goes into lore stuff that, again, I don't know the specifics, but I'm very much so excited for Side Order, and this is gonna be a weird request, but I hope it's as hard as Octo expansion.
Wow, are you that masochistic?
Yes. More so just because I want more people to play something that is of the same difficulty level as Octo expansion. Like, yes, Octo expansion was very difficult. With a lot of the stages either required like pinpoint accuracy or just a lot of like repetition and learning little things. Yes, I'm thinking of Girl Power Station, which you're having to defend an orb in the center of an arena for like 90 seconds. And yeah, that's one of the more notorious ones. It definitely took me a bit, but once you kind of learn where all of the enemies spawn, it's not as difficult as what people say. It's just difficult when you first start playing it because you're not familiar with it.
I see, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned about like how people were nitpicking on the side order and all of its features, right?
Well, just like nitpicking the details.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't nitpick on the look of DecaPolice, but at least the great eel is the great the great Zapfish is still up there.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So like, when you rescue the great Zapfish, then it's just gonna be in both hubs.
Where is DJ Octavio actually though? Where would he be?
So this is not a spoiler. You encounter this 20 minutes into the main single player. You fight DJ Octavio as the first boss in the single player. And actually, yeah, he disappears then for the rest of the single player, so...
Do you think he returns back to Inkopolis?
Maybe.
that'll be quite cool if he actually does. The only question is how and why.
Right.
That will probably be the only question we'll have on our heads if he ends up going back there. Also, what is the Amiibo box still doing there? And what's its function, knowing that most of its function is gone because there are no stages in the Splatoon 1 in that game?
So, both Splatoon 2 and 3 have Amiibo functionality. It's not for the special, like, challenge stages. In fact, a lot of the challenge scenarios were brought back proper into the campaigns of Splatoon 2, Octo Expansion, and 3. So I think that was more so just testing grounds for like, okay, like how does this work, or how would this work?
How do
So-
I function?
Yeah. So whenever you scan Splatoon amiibo into the game, it just gives you special gear, but also you can save a gear preset to that amiibo.
Ah.
I don't remember what all settings specifically it saves.
I would assume maybe gear that you have, the weapon in particular.
Yeah, now I'm curious, but I don't have any amiibo nearby to load up the game and scan, and I'm not about to go digging through my closet for my amiibo sack. So,
Yeah, it's okay.
Um,
Don't worry. You don't have to rush that.
yeah.
It's
but,
definitely still something that we'll be quite curious about.
But yeah. Splatoon 2, the functionality of amiibo was somewhat significant because, yeah, you could save a quick preset of your gear, and I think whatever weapon you have equipped as well. But with Splatoon 3, you can save 5 different presets just in game, so it's not as significant of a feature. So I think that's why I just kind of pushed that out of my brain. It's because, like, oh, I can just do it in the game. I don't need the amiibo. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm pretty sure once the Side Order DLC comes out and you finish it, I'm pretty confident in saying that you'll then be able to have the Splatoon 2 hub as an additional hub skin. I don't see why not, unless if there's some lore reason as to why not.
Yeah.
Because the opening, or the shot in the teaser in the direct, like that was the Splatoon 2 hub. So my guess is that you'll purify or like clean the area in some way, and then it's just like, oh yeah, it's open again.
So basically Sonic Generations, got it.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. And I'm willing to bet that if it's just like Octo expansion, it's also like completing the Side Order DLC is also going to give the player an additional species to play as. The question is, what species? We don't really know yet.
I mean, that'll be interesting to see. I mean, if they don't, then what else would they do? Could they do just of unlocking stuff? It's okay if you can't think of anything at the moment. It's definitely tough in this situation.
Yeah, maybe like, I don't know, maybe in the story there ends up being another species that becomes significant in some way that gets brought up to the surface, just like the Octolings in Octo expansion, and they just integrate into the society that now both Inklings and Octolings cultivate.
Yeah.
So, and the other sea life, like the jellies.
That'd be quite interesting.
Yeah. What if the unlockable species is jellies?
That would be cute, but at the same time strange.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see what they do.
Right. Or maybe it's maybe it's the, I don't know how well this would work, but I mean the mammalians were like a thing in Splatoon 3's story mode, so maybe we get to play as mammalians. I don't know.
Eh.
Yeah, ever since I completed the Octo expansion, I've been committed to now just permanently playing as an Octoling. Like, I changed back to playing as an Inkling, and it's just like, this does not feel right. This does not feel right. Yeah. I don't know why.
That's quite hilarious, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a squid or are you an octo?
Yeah, I'm an Octo boy.
So, I don't know. That's not the new question.
Yeah.
Anyways, finally moving on from Splatoon 3, let me just quickly say we don't really care too much about Fire Emblem.
No.
I'll be honest, I was just like, okay, sure, yeah, bye.
Yeah, like, didn't the game just come out, and now... I think even before the game came out, they're like, yeah, there's going to be paid DLC starting a couple weeks after it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, why? You don't have to rush us, man.
Yeah.
And some of us don't really care too much either.
Right.
Although, let's be
Right.
honest, it is for the Japanese people who do like Fire Emblem, all that stuff. So we can't really speak too much jank.
Mm-hmm.
Up next on the list, Harmony: The Fall of Reverie. I don't really have much to say because I don't remember too much from this. How about you?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything.
And for those who are watching on the video form, you might notice that because of the timestamps, I put only like very prominent ones. That's because most of these are probably gonna skip through, because again, we both don't have opinions.
Yeah, I'm watching this footage and it's like, this was shown in the direct. I don't remember seeing this even.
I'll be honest, same. I agree.
Yeah, wild.
So it's like, yeah, it's a game. We're not too sure we care yet at least. Who knows? Maybe actually it's
Yeah.
within one of us gets hooked on it. We'll see in due time, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's next on this part? Ah, Disney Illusion Island. I can finally make a timestamp.
Yeah.
I worded it as Battle Block Theater meets Rayman.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because it's a co-op platformer with well, shmup features, you could say.
Yeah. Yeah, I also heard some people describe it as like a Disney's version of, what is it, Rayman?
Origins or Legends? Origins, okay.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that the final level we go down to the bottom, right? No, actually. Well,
Yeah.
we can't judge the story yet. They haven't even released too much of it, but it looks very cool. Plus the art style, I mean, who doesn't like very classic 1980 Mickey Mouse?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the art style immediately, it's like, I was thinking, oh, that looks like Cuphead. But wait, Cuphead is based on cartoons from that day.
Yeah, I was about to
And
say.
this is based on, the Disney cartoons from that day. So it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
So basically, Abu dead.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, though, I don't know. Maybe one of these days, if we both don't have anything to play, we could try it. Although I'm not too sure about the connection. Although hopefully, if they allow online playing, they will make the connection better, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, does the game have online play?
Well, we'll see. I don't think we have much information on it.
Yeah.
We'll have to see a lot later, but I'm hoping it does.
Yeah. I mean, like, these days, it's very questionable if a game like this does not have online play.
Especially when it's multiplayer, yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, especially in this day of, like, post-COVID. Like, people are definitely more aware of, like, making sure things are accessible both locally but also online. And I feel like that needs to, be a thing just going forward. Like, I don't see a reason why companies shouldn't have.
Yeah.
online play for co-op games like this.
Yeah. By the way, I'll just quickly interrupt and say that I had my list a bit awkwardly. Although it looks like they put Harmony above Disney Illusion Island for some reason. So I actually wrote down here for Harmony, it's just like a cartoon version of Until Dawn.
Oh.
That was my first impressions of it when I first saw the trailer. I mean, it is a teaser trailer, so we can't really say much of it, but judging from what I'm seeing from like the aesthetics, the storyline, all that stuff, it looks quite similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might be alone on it, but that's just my opinion when I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, back to Illusion Island. Lovely name, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It sounds mysterious. Perfect for a Mickey game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if only they released Epic Mickey 3.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Are the Epic Mickey games on Switch?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm just gonna double check.
And as you check that, I might as well move straight away quickly to Advance Wars 1 and 2. They keep saying it every time, and now it's finally coming out this season.
Yeah. Yeah, no. The Epic Mickey games are not on Switch. Yeah. But yeah, Advance Wars finally has a release date and is hopefully actually coming out.
Yeah, let's hope it's not Rayman Legends Part 2, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a little surprised that it's not just a full-on shadow drop, because they could have done a shadow drop and then had the physical version out later, but a later game does that. But yeah, I've been interested in trying this out since it was announced. I have an older brother that absolutely loves the Advance Wars games, and I've seen him play them quite a bit, like, back in the day. So, like, I've always had an interest in them. I don't know how much I'm gonna enjoy them, but, like, if I go into them knowing that these are strategy games, there is inherently going to be some luck. I think I'm going to enjoy them well enough.
Yeah.
But I am kind of thinking that I may get the game physically, so then if I end up not liking it, I can just get rid of it. That's yeah, although Nintendo of America at least reintroduced the voucher system to the eShop, so if I used a game voucher, I'd be paying $10 less for the game, but I don't really have a physical game that I'm really going back to at this point. Admittedly, I do have a physical copy of Immortals Phoenix Rising that I got for $10 that I have not played yet.
Ah.
And I don't think that's gonna happen if I don't get to it by May because of Zelda. So I think I may just pay the full $60 and get Advance Wars physically.
I mean, I recently finally unboxed one of my games I have for quite a while, you know what I mean? So it might be your turn now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I should specify, I did take the game out of the case and, like, put it in the Switch, downloaded the update data, and yeah, so, like, I did that just so then I would have the update data, and so if I did have some time, I could just pop it in and just start playing right away.
Wait, so yours is worse. The game has been staring at you this whole time, and you still haven't touched it.
Yeah. Yeah, is it even in my Switch? Or is it in my... yep, it's in... it's in my game card holder. Right here. Yeah, right there.
Wow, that's quite funny. Anyways, Advance Wars aside, let's advance over to a quick one, and let's just say Octopath Traveler 2. Oh, hello.
Yeah, when did the first one come out?
2021, I believe.
Okay, yeah,
it was
that
right
sounds
before.
about right.
It was before Triangle Strategy, which, if I'm not mistaken, they already released.
Yep. I know that they released Triangle Strategy because I always think anytime I hear the name of that game, I think of the stream that Stephen George did, where he kept wanting to call it Strangle Tragedy.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Now, yeah, and now it's like I keep wanting to say Strangle Tragedy.
That is a tragedy then. But I mean, RPG game, mostly on like story base. I'm not really the biggest fan of like following story like that's very heavy, so maybe not for me. But at the same time, definitely it's quite cool to see a second game in the franchise. I'm noticing that the art style is getting a lot more usage, like the art style of the logo. So that's quite cool. I mean, I know all the games like what was that? Bravely Default are made by the same people, right?
I believe so, yeah, because Bravely Default, yeah, that was back on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And then it was ported to everything. I seem to remember that it's like, oh yeah, the same people that did Bravely Default, they're making this new thing called Octopath Traveler, working title, and that became the final name. Just like Bravely Default, I'm pretty sure was
also
the
a working title. Wow.
Yeah, that just became the title. I'm fairly confident in saying that.
What in their brains thought that was an interesting... I mean, it is an interesting title, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's like... It's such a weird name all the more.
Yeah, I guess there really wasn't another name they could have given it, because I'm pretty sure Bravely Default, the mechanic that it's referencing to is that you can opt to have an extra move in battle, but then that means that character has to rest the next turn. So it's like, yeah, you choose to be brave, but then you like default and you have to rest. I guess I don't know the game well enough.
I mean, I feel like even with that vague of description, I can still understand, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Moving on in this case, we have We Love Katamari Reroll and Royal Revelry.
Yeah.
And hello, we have a game trials release.
Yeah, the game trial starts February 20th and goes for a week for Katamari Damacy Reroll, which is the only other Katamari game that's on Switch.
I might give this a go, honestly. The Katamari series is like something I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't buy it, but the fact that it's free for a week, I might give it a go.
Yeah, and now I'm looking through my Switch because I transitioned to the Switch OLED. I don't think I have Katamari Damacy Reroll downloaded.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just go to the eShop and put it re-downloading. That's strange.
Oh, well. I mean, at least now you know, so that you can remind yourself later. I mean, it's Katamari, not much else to say, but I'll be honest, now I'm actually quite interested to try it out now that it's free. I mean, the reason why I didn't really appreciate it, I didn't want to play it, was mostly because I was seeing like, it's just rolling over like stuff. It's like kind of the same thing over and over again. So I feel like eventually if I buy it, I wouldn't get enough enough fun for my buck.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
that knowing that it's free, I can actually try it out. If I actually do get enough fun of it that I would warrant a purchase, then maybe I would try the other games.
I was misremembering how to spell Katamari, even though it's on my laptop over here. I thought it started with a C, but no, it starts with a K. Okay, I do have it.
Josiah! Really?
I've had a long day. I mean, it was a good day, but it was a long day. I've been up since 6.
Oh, okay, then that explains it.
Yeah, I had a couple meetings in the morning. I finished with a work shift for a few hours ago. I released a video today.
Well, I mean, yeah, you also did that too, so I kind of mentioned how much workload you've done over the past few hours.
Yeah, I mean, I completely recorded and edited the video yesterday. For those who listen to the podcast, it's basically what I talked about in the previous episode about my reasoning for getting the Switch OLED, but more so, I put it in the lens of I don't see a new Nintendo system coming out this year and maybe even next year, considering multiple different reasons. Go watch it. But yeah, when is this coming out? June 2nd.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Katamari Damacy Reroll enough to where I think I'll pick this up. Maybe even close to launch, or I may just wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, when the game trial for Damacy Reroll comes out, yeah, give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Next up on the list, Sea of Stars. Quickly on this, but at the same time, I noticed some interesting things. Firstly, people from The Messenger are making this game.
Interesting.
And The Messenger, I know for a fact, is a pretty well-beloved Metroidvania. I think it's a Metroidvania.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then secondly, I'm noticing the composer, the same person who made who composed music for Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, is making the music for Sea of Stars. I mean, that's a big deal, knowing how beautiful Chrono Trigger is.
Yeah. I just pulled up the Steam page for The Messenger. Yeah, that's a Metroidvania.
Yeah, I remember well. I'll be honest, it'll be interesting to see how Sea of Stars goes. I mean, a lot of potential straight away. Like, they are selling this very high, very early. And hopefully it doesn't flop because, oh boy, let's hope it's not another Cyberpunk.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's another RPG, so
Yeah.
I keep saying I'm not very interested, but the things that I am interested in, I have a lot to say about them.
How about Mega Strike?
So, which one is this?
It's
is this like the free-to-play thing?
I know
I
Proton John did a video on it, I believe, or one of his fortune cookies featured it, and I was like, oh, this was interesting.
Yeah, it almost looks like a team-based multiplayer Windjammers.
Yeah,
almost,
exactly.
but
You know,
not
I was
quite.
about to say Windjammers, I just couldn't remember the name. It definitely does have a similar feel to Windjammers, and I mean, I don't mind that.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar. I feel like I mean, it'd be curious to see what, what things you can change, basically, besides character, the power-ups, all that stuff. I assume different characters will have different stats.
Yeah. Yeah. Did we mention that it's free to play?
No. I mean, you did. That's actually quite interesting to know that it's
Okay.
free to play all the more.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking at the eShop. I don't think it's out yet. April.
Yeah, I was
April's
gonna say
coming
April.
out.
It was April.
Yeah. So yeah, once that comes out, I may give it a go, or it may be a case of I download it to try it out, and I forget that it's on my system for months, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is here. I haven't played it. I'm just gonna delete it.
Hopefully not in this case, honestly. It looks quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, I want to quickly mention about this, and I also spelled this wrongly. Etrian Odyssey Origins.
Oh yeah,
I accidentally typed this Aryan, so oops. I mean, the first thing I will say is picnic.
I have no idea what that's a reference to.
The difficulty settings.
Oh, that's right.
I remember I remember laughing over it. I was just like, picnic?
Yeah, I don't know if it was during your recording of your reactions, or
It was
if
the recording of the reactions.
Yeah, I started being like, what's the opposite of a picnic?
Yeah, exactly.
Because the difficulties are like picnic, normal, and hard. Or it's like, okay, if they call the easiest difficulty picnic, I feel like they should give some sort of fun name to the hardest difficulty. So
Hellfire?
like
Forest
yeah,
fire?
picnic, normal, apocalypse.
Exactly. There we go.
Yeah.
Some catchy word like apocalypse actually could fit in this situation. But yeah, maze-like, all that stuff. It looks very interesting though.
Or hellfire or something like that.
That's what I said, yeah.
Okay, nice.
So, I mean, great nice thing I like in this case. But yeah, no, it looks quite cool. I mean, art style-wise, I see a lot of similarities to many other RPGs, very like Japanese, common RPGs that I've seen. So really not much else to say. It is a remastering after all.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the theme for this year, remastering. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember talking about, wow, there's a lot of remasters in this Direct.
Yeah.
I actually almost forgot about that. I'm glad that I mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
So hang on, let me do the timestamp because I actually almost forgot about that. There we go.
Yeah, and I'm busy getting excited for the next game in the list.
Oh yeah. Dude, extra story from Megalore is a huge game changer for this game.
Yeah. So we're talking about Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe.
Yeah.
Once you beat the game, you will have access to the Megalore epilogue. I forget exactly what it's called, but yeah, it's extra story and unique mechanic of you're collecting experience points basically for doing different things and defeating enemies, and you can put those towards the different abilities that Megalore had before he lost his abilities. And so you get to choose what exactly you want. So I think that's really going to open up a lot of opportunities and possibilities because of that freedom of choice.
It's like a mini-sized version of Smash Ultimate, The World of Light. Because remember how you level up your skills, get better, all the stuff. So now this is very similar, and I quite like that. I like that more games are attaining to that kind of gameplay. Except this one is at least a smaller game, so it makes a bit more sense to be implemented like that.
Yeah, and this extra epilogue has 4-player co-op, which is great. Although it's not online, it's local only.
And it's less than a week's time that this game comes out. Oh my goodness!
From when we're doing this, the streamed version of this podcast, yes, it is in 1 week.
So that's why it's like, man, yeah, that'd be a bummer that's not online. But admittedly, it's one of those games where I feel like if it was online, it would be a lot of problems in terms of like the catching up with each other. Remember, there's 4 people playing.
Yeah, although the Super Kirby Clash, the free-to-play Kirby game on Switch, even though it basically is just the different boss fights, that you can play online with 4 people. So I don't know if it's just too much for the game to handle, if it's a proper side scroller and not just a one-screen boss fight. It's probably that. Because I don't think the game even has... Yeah, no, it only has single system multiplayer, so...
Yeah. You know, the first thing when I thought of when you said that was like, I'm not thinking about it because I just realized we forgot to talk about the mini games that are in there.
Yeah, they're bringing back, I think, all, or at least most of the minigames from the original Return to Dreamland, as well as, I think some new ones, and, some from the Game Boy Advance Kirby games.
Which is quite cool, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, even though, well, I mean, what I was about to say is what we're going to be talking about next anyways, but it's great that we're, well, I mean, yeah, the Game Boy Advance stuff. They haven't, specified that Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland is coming to Switch. It's only Amazing Mirror at this point.
Yep.
But, Nightmare in Dreamland, I'm pretty sure is the game that has these mini games that are returning in Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Either that, or it was a Super Mario 64 DS New Super Mario Brothers situation where one game came out, had all these mini games, the other came out and copied over a lot of the mini games. I don't remember if Amazing Mirror has the mini games. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Yeah. Let's see. Oh. Yeah. Also 3 minigames accessible from the menu. So, yeah, break a rock, seated. Okay, so, okay, so okay. I just said okay 3 times in a row. Amazing Mirror does have completely different mini games to Nightmare in Dreamland, so I actually did not know that. But now that I'm reading it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I have seen these before, it's just I don't remember.
I see.
So,
speaking of,
go
ahead.
It's great that all these Kirby mini games are being consolidated into one package.
Yeah. Well, now that we suddenly introduced this topic, man, finally, we have been rumoring a lot in past podcasts, and they finally have done it. And on the day that the Direct came out itself as well, huge,
yeah.
I would say. But the thing, I mean, there are a few questions definitely. Firstly, I mean, I did bring this up. Why did they not bring the Tetris for NES?
Yeah, that's...
Because if you think about it, they did release NES versions of the Joy-Con. So technically saying you could play regular NES Tetris with a proper NES controller. So why didn't they do that?
Yeah, it's... Yeah, Nintendo's got a Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. I still question it. Unless they are saying, hey, we're going to release the NES version very soon, and then I will stop questioning. Secondly,
yeah,
it's actually relating to both Mario and Pokemon Day. Now, admittedly, the Mario Day is a bit last minute, I'll admit, but I wanted to actually bring this up because Mario Day, we know that Super Mario Brothers movie has already come out. And we already know that Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Online, both already have a Mario game attached. Super Mario Land 2 6 golden coins, and Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. Now here's the question. For Mario Day, are they planning to bring any other games onto those systems? Let alone NES, SNES if they wish.
So, I mean, I put this in my wish list, for games that I want to see come to these systems. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't just bring over all of the Super Mario Advance games to the Game Boy Advance library.
Will, how you dare you spoil my next Let's Play? In all seriousness, I will. And also, yeah, no, that's going to be my next Let's Play because Anti-Chamber, for those wondering, ends next week. That playthrough is about to end very soon, but that means I need to do a lot of speed runs as well. But in all seriousness, yeah, no, I also hope for certain games. I mean, there are a lot of Game Boy Advance games that I played. I really want the Sonic Adventure series to come in.
Yeah,
that
would be cool.
So cool. And as someone who has played Sonic Adventure 3 a lot and run the game, I really wanted it to be back here. Well, YouTube. That's all I'll say. Anyways, Game Boy Advance. I mean, Game Boy, I should say. I'm glad I get to play Samus 2 Metroid 2's Return of Samus, which, by the way, I have finished already.
Nice. With that game in particular, if you do go back to play it with the Game Boy Advance color filter, because the same team. Yeah, because the same people who made the Game Boy Color special hardware, they worked on Samus 2 and specifically programmed in a color palette just for Metroid 2 Return of Samus.
Wait, so all that coloring is fresh this year?
No, this was still back in the day on the original hardware.
Okay.
But they did transfer over that same color palette.
That's good. Keeping it fresh and like simple. I thought for 1 second you actually meant that this was like recently made. That would've been funny.
Yeah. Yes. Didn't mean to confuse there.
No, don't worry. It's still though very cool though that they're doing this.
I guess another small little thing specifically about Game Boy Advance is the games that had Game Boy Player functionality baked into them, so Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, and Superstar Saga, their controller rumble functions, they just work. So in Mario...
Where would it be in Super Mario Bros. 3, though? I actually have played that game for quite a while. I haven't actually gotten any rumble.
Well, first of all, you have to enable it in the settings.
Oh! Okay, then I will do that later.
Yeah, so when you load up into the game, when it gives you the option of choosing from Mario 3 or Mario Brothers, you have to hit L or R to bring up the settings, and then you have to switch it on. And same for Superstar Saga. On the title screen, scroll down to Options and enable Rumble. It's not like a super refined HD Rumble, but it works, and especially for Superstar Saga, I'm actually in the part of the game where you're in... I forget what this is called, like, Bean Bean Castle Town? Yes. And I'm doing the side quest where I'm looking for the different gemstones, and to track them, normally you would squish Mario with the hammer, run around, wait for the exclamation mark to appear over his head, but for the Game Boy Player functionality, if I can get this... Oh, sorry, on the mic.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it vibrates the controller, so it makes looking for those hidden items a lot easier. Because you can just, squish Mario and then just start running around and wait until you feel that in your controller. So it makes that part of the game just so much easier.
It does. That's quite cool that they have that added in.
Yeah, I wish that they had the Game Boy Player functionality to let you play Superstar Saga with two controllers co-op, because you could do that on the Game Boy player. If you had two controllers hooked up, then sorry, now I'm trying to actually get this gem, and for whatever reason I'm having a hard time lining up.
You wonder he actually is playing Superstar Saga right now.
Yeah. I had it open just for that one thing, but yeah, like I've tried hitting buttons on a second controller to get it synced to the system, like a controller that I know has already been paired to the system. It does, the lights bounce in a certain way that I can tell, okay, it's found the system, but the system is rejecting the connection from a second controller.
So you're basically saying that 2-player is not available in Superstar Saga, even though there is?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
So that means the only way is still the Wii U then, because Sugar Conroy did do that with Masaya Nella during his playthrough.
Yeah, during a bonus episode.
That's strange. Why would they do that? Is it? Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm reading from Will is just for the games overall, they're still doing the drip feed approach, and so that's why I was like, they just need to put out, at the very least, the other 3 Mario Advance games on Game Boy Advance.
I was also thinking myself, why you give us 4 and not the other 3? Although, to be fair, I already played 1 to death on my Game Boy Advance.
Exactly. Again, it is nice that they gave us the version of 3 with the e-reader levels.
Oh, dude, that is a huge game changer. Like, that is the huge game changer to date, in my opinion. That's so good. I can finally actually play all that. And if you're wondering, I'm at World 5 of my the main game.
Nice, nice. I think I'm only in World 2 or 3, as I've been playing Superstar Saga.
I mean, fair. You have said a long while that you want to play the game for quite some time, and finally, on actual hardware, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have played through the remake on 3DS, and for a while I did have the game on an actual original cart, and, you know, still my DS Lite, but at the same time that I got Superstar Saga, I did have an actual original Game Boy Advance that I wanted to mod with like a nicer, like one of the nice backlit screens, but I just never got around to it. But once the remake came out, and it's like, this is just the game but better, I just sold the original cart and Game Boy Advance. So this is like my actual first time playing the original version.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. Then once you get used to it, you can finally play the randomizer that recently came out a few months ago.
Yeah,
And for those wondering, yes, there actually is a Mario Luigi Superstar Saga randomizer. A month ago, it was in beta. Now, alpha. Now it's finally in beta.
Nice.
Which is honestly great. I actually have played it a bit, and I know some of my friends from the Classic Game Grand Prix have also played it. It's actually quite polished. And it's still being tweaked now and then, thanks to the support of the people in the Discord. They're actually helping, and I think there's actually one poll recently where they're helping the developer decide the logic in the game.
Interesting.
So there actually is a lot of fan feedback, which is very good, honestly. I really like that kind of development.
Nice, yeah. I'll have to give it a go once it gets into a mostly polished state.
Oh no, I will tell you once it gets there. It is quite cool. Good thing. But yeah, otherwise, GBA Advance finally available. I'll be honest, I've been playing a lot of the Mario Kart Super Circuit because that was also my childhood when I was young. Although I didn't play as much since I didn't own the game itself.
Yeah, I've been playing Super Circuit as well, and it's my first time playing Super Circuit, and I was thinking, oh yeah, this looks a lot like Super Mario Kart. Does it play the same? Basically.
Well,
it does.
It will soon enough feel the same. I mean, do you actually know about the whole Mario Super Circuit? Or should I shush?
I mean, I know about the that they basically put in all the Super Mario Kart levels into Super Circuit.
Okay, at least you know that. At least you know that. I'll say this right now. Have fun trying to tree star the game because boy, there is no perfect walkthrough of the game online. Like, I've tried searching out how to do tree star, and I'll say this right now, it's not like exact.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm really gonna go super in depth with actually completing Super Circuit because it just sounds like an absolute pain.
I mean, trying to unlock certain stuff is very very weird on certain parts, especially time trial like Final Cup, Special Cup.
Yeah, but for unlocking the Super Mario Kart tracks, I just watched a video on this a couple days ago. You cannot unlock the super tracks on your first playthrough of a cup. It has to be your second.
Yep.
Even if you make the condition of collecting 100 coins in a cup on your first go, no, you have to do it at least on your second attempt, if not later.
Yes.
And if you do that, you unlock that one specific cup in that one specific kart class. So you have to do it in all 3 kart classes.
All 30, yeah.
And that just sounds miserable.
Yeah, it definitely was quite questionable when I realized it. I was like, oh my goodness, why is this a chore?
Yeah, and if I do choose to unlock stuff in Super Circuit, it's just gonna be that. I'm not gonna go for 3 stars. That just does not sound fun.
Don't. I struggled. Like,
yeah.
save states actually the reason why I'm still playing the game to an extent, because boy, they actually help with you correcting stuff. But at the same time, the requirement is ludicrous at times.
So I'll probably unlock those just to have them, because is that the only way then to have them accessible in multiplayer?
Oh, that I'm not sure, honestly.
Because if that is the case, then yeah, at some point I'll probably chip away at it just to have them for multiplayer.
Yeah, I think that'll be better.
If the day comes that I get several people together to play it, which I mean, now that we can do it online, it's much easier if I have people that want to play it. I did get a chance to play them last weekend, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, with my older brother, and it ran pretty darn smoothly. There was a bit of input delay, but other than that, yeah, other than that, yeah, it worked great.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I will say that I mean, runs well. Can't wait for the newer games to come out, especially Metroid Fusion. Although honestly, I think I might play that on an emulator just to record it, because that I want to actually play that game for the first time, like blind, and showcase my opinions. I did do Metroid AM2R last year, and I think I'll probably do Metroid Fusion next year, for those wondering, as a playthrough.
Nice.
Anyways, other than that, another thing I need to point out, because I did mention Mario Day, let's not forget Pokemon Day. Is there a possibility that we're finally getting the Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 Pokemon games on Nintendo Switch Online?
I'm willing to say yes.
Very big possibility, especially with how well-timed this all is.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was Pokemon Day when they initially announced that the original Pokemon games were coming to 3DS Virtual Console.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I for whatever reason, I had nothing else to do that day, so I watched the presentation, and it's like, oh, that's fun. Anyways,
then I can finally get you to play a Pokemon game.
Yeah, if I don't have to spend any money on it.
Well, to be fair, you haven't had to yet, right?
No.
Yeah, I was about to say. Plus, at the same time, I think the one thing that's gonna be interesting, online. Because if you think about it, there is the trade functionality. If you want to finish the Pokédex, you technically have to have like all of that. So the question is,
Yes.
how will that work?
Yes, and especially considering that the Virtual Console release of the original Pokemon games, like on 3DS,
I'll allow you to do
had
that.
yes, but also they had save state functionality completely removed. Like there's no way to back up your save data for those games whatsoever. So if they're part of the pre-existing Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Switch Online apps, then they're gonna have to go in and disable that because they want to make sure that like people can't like make a save state, trade a Pokemon, and then use that save state again.
Yeah.
So to duplicate a Pokemon. So like that's the reason why. Because they're very stringent about that sort of stuff.
Oh no, they are, yeah.
So either that or, and this would be stupid, but would also be a way so then save data backup wouldn't work then, which is I think what they want to do is make the games a completely separate download from the base Game Boy, Game Boy Advance.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I can see
just
that.
make it as another free piece of software that you download that's just completely separate.
So now it's no longer Wii U VC, it's Nintendo Switch VC, basically.
Sorta, kinda.
I can see that. I actually can see that. And honestly, if they do that, I'll be hype.
Yeah, if it's just like the other Game Boy stuff, that if you have Switch Online, you just download it. If you have Switch Online, you can just download the Pokemon games.
Yeah.
That's my guess, at least. So then they have complete control over that save data, because they for sure don't want people duplicating Pokemon.
No, not at all.
And exploiting those. Because I don't even... Does Pokemon Scarlet and Violet even support cloud saves?
I mean, I bought the physical copy, so I wouldn't know that answer.
Well, no, a physical game should still have
I mean,
save data cloud backup.
Then yes, it does. It does.
It does. Okay. Yeah, here we go. The official pages for games do say if they're compatible with cloud saves. So
As you look up that up, I'll just say it right now. RIP to the guy I saw on Twitter who has been hunting weeks for Shiny Mareep, and literally as he found it, another guy in his union group went to it straight away. And basically canceling out that Mareep.
Oh.
And he's been hunting for weeks too.
So I do have the page up, and there's usually like a separate banner for Switch Online compatibility. It just says this game supports online play. It would also say cloud saves if it supported cloud saves, but I don't see cloud saves here, so...
Oh.
Scarlet and Violet apparently do not support cloud saves.
Huh.
Which, let me pull up a game that I know for sure has cloud saves. Yeah, Link's Awakening. Just to double check. Yeah, it says this game supports cloud save data.
Interesting.
Or save data cloud.
I mean, it's about the same. It's not like it's different by any means.
Yeah.
Wow, my hand was numb there. Whoosh.
Ugh.
Yeah, honestly, if you're wondering, for those wondering, it's been 20 podcasts. This arm is not like taking too much toll, but at the same time, man, once I put there for quite a while, once I go back, it's like, oh, that tingly feeling.
Got that good burn.
Nah, I wouldn't say it's a good burn. It's more so like a good tingle.
Yeah, just a burn.
Which no one ever says when they play a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Anyways, now that we've mostly milked GBA Online to the core, I think we can finally move on. And man,
yes,
what a next release!
Yeah, to Shadow Drop Metroid Prime Remastered.
Is probably the biggest shadow drop in this decade.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been rumored for well over a year, and now that we finally, like, even though it's only the first game, just that it's a thing at all is relieving to see.
Do you think it means possibly Metroid Prime 1, Remastered, 2 Remastered, 3 Remastered, and finally Metroid 4?
I could see them doing that. Yeah, like, I feel like maybe they did just this first game to test the waters, and now that they see that people are like, yeah, they're really wanting these games remastered, I could see them, like, some point later this year doing a remastered double pack of 2 and 3 for $60 total, because then that's 30 for each game, which is only $10 less than the remaster of the first game, and people like 2 and 3, but they don't think they're as good as 1. So I feel like then that price is justified. Or it makes some sort of sense.
Well,
but
okay.
Yeah, just that's the thought.
Okay. Well, I'll just say it right now. I have actually talked to a few of my friends on LHA, and one of them actually brought an interesting fact. Metroid Prime 3 actually had Rumble. Metroid Prime 2 and 1, I believe, did not, to an extent, if I'm not mistaken. And basically...
Really?
Sorry, not Rumble. Motion controls. Excuse me.
Oh, like
so, yeah,
like the trilogy that was on Wii?
No. Just 3. Just 3.
Okay.
Metroid Prime 1 and 2 Echoes did not have it. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption had. Now, here's the thing. I know not everyone is the biggest fan of motion controls. So, they probably would want to, like, implement Metroid Prime 3 Remaster in a way such that motion controls ain't all that necessary. Now, that would require almost a full restart of development. So that's why I'm gonna rebut your Metroid Prime 2-3 bundle of, possibility and say it will probably take a lot longer than usual if they were to do that. They will most likely release them separate so they have more time to develop.
Okay.
So that's why
I mean,
I had to
they could
agree
do
with
either.
that. Yeah, I had to agree with that statement from that friend of mine, because honestly, yeah, no point in them trying to release both if motion controls is not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, even though the Metroid Prime Remastered, that does have gyro controls, but people that I've heard talk about the game, they've said that motion controls really haven't been all that necessary. So they've actually been, well, because the lock-on system, so they've been playing with gyro off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually don't know how dependent on motion controls, or no. Is it 3 that you just said this?
3 is motion controls.
Okay, yeah. Then, yeah, that'll have to be reworked.
One thing's for certain though, and my friend had to rebut me on this. Metroid Prime 4 definitely will not have the same art style. If anything, it will probably be a full-fledged new game. I actually kind of suggested possibly the engine is going to be tested on the waters for Metroid Prime 1 Remastered. But at the same time, we'll be kind of worrying if Metroid Prime 4 had the same, like, style, so to speak, because that means it will not be as fresh.
Yeah.
So that's why he had to rebut me, saying may not want to think that way, because that's actually not a great way to sell out your business, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do have screenshots of Prime Remastered up, and it looks like a great game, but yeah, like, yeah, Prime.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, all the more, I think we're both still very excited for that game to come out. We'll see what comes up from this. Anyways, next up on the list, what's after Metroid Prime Remastered?
Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster.
I forgot what this is, actually. Have a look.
Same.
I mean, first thing it says wings, and the first thing I thought was Skyward Sword. No.
Yeah. I think it's is it another it's another RPG.
Looks like it, more like Sword RPG, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. I already got my first petal on the third flower, as you can see. The system is very strange, I'll be honest. Yeah, a lot of cards, a lot of like sword fighting, all that stuff. Definitely does. I mean, funny thing is that when I was looking at one of the characters, it looks like oh, for that guy from Xenoblade.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, it's not the same style by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't really have much else to say. It's an RPG.
How about Fantasy Life I?
Is that another RPG?
No, actually, I believe. I think it's like create your own world.
Fantasy Life, yeah, this game. So I'm pretty sure it was a 3DS game.
Yep.
Fantasy Life, yeah, was originally, and now it's on Switch, and the shot in the trailer about 54 seconds in of the character putting down a chair, it looks like some out of context, it looks like a weird amalgamation of Animal Crossing New Horizons, like the vibe of the room, but the character makes me think of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, I mean, I can see that. Like the arts, the way that the character moves really just reminds me of that. So I can see your thought process on that.
Yeah, with that specific shot, it does.
That's quite
so
cool. Yeah, I can't disagree. But it looks pretty good, I'll be honest. And I mean, who doesn't like creating your own world?
Yeah.
And we said that many times before.
Yeah. But
now for another shadow release, quote unquote. Hello, Professor Layton. It's been a while.
Yeah, Professor Layton is back.
I mean, bruh, what? That was so sudden. I mean, literally sudden, because it was in the middle of a transition.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, World of Steam. I mean, what does that mean? I guess we'll have to find out. It's always okay.
Now I'm curious. Are there any Layton games on the Switch?
No, 3DS was the
Okay,
last one I remember because Chuck Conroy mentioned playing it.
That's right. I seem to remember in some trailer for the Switch Lite, for some reason I remember seeing someone playing a Professor Layton game. I don't know if that would have been a remake or if that's just me having like misremembering straight up.
I also say Mandela effect.
Yeah, except just in one person. Now I'm seeing if this is just for the US or if it's Professor Layton. I'm searching on the UK version of the eShop.
Meanwhile,
because I have a UK account. No, it's not on.
Yeah.
There, so I'm misremembering.
Meanwhile, next one on the list. Hello, Birdo.
Yeah, we got a teaser for Wave 4 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass.
New course, brand new course at that, and new character. Birdo is finally back in different colors.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure in a tweet they confirmed this, that new characters are in these last 3 waves are going to be coming as part of these last 3 waves.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know why they weren't doing that before, because they could have, but
To be
At least
fair,
now they're doing it.
To be fair, they always been promoting tracks, but never characters. So I guess for the last few ones, they finally say, let's put some more characters.
Yeah. And now that I'm thinking of this, even though, like, it's the side mode in Mario Kart, could we get some booster courses for battle mode?
Oh, yeah. Why not bring back battle courses from the previous games? The first thing that comes to my mind is the DS itself.
Yeah, yeah, just the clamshell DS.
Oh dear,
I would say
play
like
on the Switch instead.
Yeah, I was about to say do it just on the Switch, but that would just be kind of like a boring rectangular platform.
That's
no
true.
real.
Yeah. I mean, I make a dream.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, we just powered through the direction. We're almost at the end. And speaking of power, Power Pros. Baseball. Yeah. I know. Opie, a good friend of mine, is gonna love that.
So, fun fact, the game is $1, and also fun fact, I bought it.
Have you tried it yet?
No.
I mean, it's baseball. What else to say?
Right.
In fact, there's no trailer on it actually from our the thing we have.
Yeah, I think it was just part of that sizzle reel at the end.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's baseball. Really, the only reason why I got it is because of Extra Life, Stephen George, and how they keep going back to the Power Pros game that's on Wii every Extra Life. So
yeah,
that's the only reason why I bought it, and also because it is $1.
Yeah. In other news, let me just quickly mention a few before we move to the last topic. Minecraft Legends, there's Blanc, which Blanc, I'll be honest, straight away, what's the first thing we think of?
It Takes Two.
Exactly. So that looks like another clone of that, but who doesn't like co-op games? And the art style looks beautiful, even though it's black and white.
Yeah.
Mega Man X Legacy Collection, boy, I know my friend Joey Gatorman is gagging over that right now.
Nice.
Have a Nice Death. Oh my gosh, the name is just hilarious.
Oh, yeah, that game.
Literally a shmup in itself, but that the name itself is quirky to where I think people will actually be curious about it. There's Power Pros. The funny thing is I actually have played baseball. It's just like the humongous baseball, that game. To see Dreamland Valley New Realm update, I mean, those who have played that game, they will know. For us, we don't really know too much of it.
Right. So, fun fact about Blanc is that the multiplayer does work online. So, yeah.
Wow, that's quite cool.
If someone out there, you have a friend that's, long distance, you can play the game together. Yeah.
And the last thing, of course, we need to talk about, which is the final climax to this whole direct. TOTK. We have a release date, finally.
Yeah. And we also know the price of the game, even though it wasn't officially announced during the direct.
$70. Have fun, guys.
Yes, but this is probably why Nintendo of America reintroduced the voucher system. Is this game is compatible with the vouchers, meaning that basically you can completely bypass the $70 price tag and get it for $50 if you're using the vouchers. So, if you're getting it digital, it's literally does not make a difference.
Nah.
Just buy a pair of vouchers and use one for Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. I was actually thinking about getting this game and some of the other games coming out physically, because especially for ones like Kirby that I know that I'm gonna play like fully through, it's like, yeah, I'll play it and then I don't know if I'll really come back to it, so I'll just like pack it up and shelf it then. But all of the first party Nintendo games coming out in these upcoming months are compatible with the vouchers. So if I got them with that, I would be saving money. So I think I'm still going to be getting those games at least, that I know that I'm going to play at least to the end credits digitally with the vouchers. Which does kind of invalidate some of the stuff that I said in my video last year about potentially getting more games physically, because it's like, oh, you can save space on your system and like pack it up, and when you're not playing it or when you're done with the game, it's not taking up that space on your system. Yes, you could archive it and then download it again later, but you might not always have an internet connection that you would want to download something like that. But now that I have the Switch OLED that has a bit more storage and there's the voucher systems, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, I'll be getting it digital.
Nice.
Reluctantly.
Yeah, the price.
If I can...
The price definitely looks very high. Definitely.
Yeah, but because I can completely bypass the price increase with the vouchers, it's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna be getting it day one, so may as well just get it digital.
I can see.
Yeah.
Straying away from the price tag and all the other features, I'll say this right now. I know someone actually mentioned about an interesting thing they may not have noticed during the teaser, and that's actually based on the story. Because you might have noticed that when during the trailer for that game, that Link's right hand, I believe, is broken, and usually he holds the Triforce off.
I don't know.
Courage. Yes, it's courage.
Okay.
Remember, Ganon
was a shot in the dark.
Ganon has power, and Zelda's wisdom, if I'm not mistaken. So here's the thing. There, people are suggesting that Ganon stole Link's Triforce piece.
Interesting.
And he has caused chaos in the kingdom because he might have noticed the very gritty art style that the game looks like. And all of, course, the interesting like cutscenes that we saw during that trailer. So if anything, this might suggest that, and you're trying to get that piece back. And it's also another part of where Zelda mentions like he's too strong, you cannot defeat him. That's also trying to lean towards him taking away Link's Triforce piece, because now he has two, and it seems like he's about to take the whole Triforce basically.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So that's why a lot of people have been rumoring that, and even I'm buying into it, because honestly, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. I guess a point about why it's $70, people are saying that it's because the game is larger than 16 gigabytes. It's specifically 18.2.
Jeez!
And yeah, it is the largest file size of a first-party Nintendo game to date. So that means that for the physical version, they're going to have to use their 32 gigabyte game cards, which is going to be more expensive than normal, or it's going to cost more than normal to produce those. So I think that's what especially gives more credence to the game vouchers, because, you know, it's digital, you're just downloading the game data, knock down $20. But if you're getting it physical, then yeah, you have to pay for the more expensive game cards, and because they're going to be producing millions and millions of those, because it is going to sell. And also they can get away with charging $10 more because people are still gonna buy it. Like, people are gonna complain, but I don't think they're gonna be complaining enough to where they don't buy the game because it's $10 more. Like, people are still gonna buy it.
Yeah.
So
I was actually about to mention how, like, it definitely feels weird that it's strange that they upped the price, but now that you mentioned about the size, I guess that makes sense. Still questionable, but at the same time, if they had to bump up the size, then I guess that there's that. The funny thing is that now that you mentioned, 60 and 32 gigabyte SD cards, the first thing I thought of was, I didn't realize that a Nintendo Switch cartridge was just basically an SD card.
Basically.
Yeah, I actually never thought of it that way.
Yeah, for reference, Breath of the Wild, with all the DLC is 15.7 gigabytes. So it's a couple gigs more, and probably for people like me out there who have Breath of the Wild digitally and are also going to be getting Tears of the Kingdom digitally, the Switch has a feature that if you just hover over a game, hit plus or minus, scroll down to manage software, you can archive a game to where it just deletes the game data but still keeps the icon on your home screen and your save data still on your system.
Yeah.
So you can hit the icon again on your system to quickly re-download it, but it still keeps all your save data. And at least for a good long while, once Tears of the Kingdom comes out, I'm not sure if people are really going to be itching to go back to Breath of the Wild. So if people are really strapped for space, I suggest doing that with Breath of the Wild if people out there have it digital.
Yeah.
Or really any big game like that maybe you've been done with and you don't really see yourself impulsively going back to it at a moment's notice. Like, just hit plus or minus and archive it. So
I might do that for some of the Shantae games I playing right now, because I have finished some of them, and I also Golf Story as well.
Oh yeah, because you've still been using the base storage of the Switch.
Admittedly, I have not needed any bigger storage, honestly, to be honest, which I'm quite happy of that.
Yeah, I mean, it does make your life a whole lot easier having some sort of SD card. Even like a 128 gig barely costs anything these days. So, and even having that much, you mostly get games physical when you can. So, but even with that, like, games have, update data and all that still. So, I think it would still be in your best interest to get even a 128 gig card. Just to have that extra space.
Yeah, I will consider, definitely. Alright, so with that, I mean, I think our overall opinion on the Direct is simple. Very good.
Yeah, I never go into a Direct expecting anything specifically, but in the back of my head, I was thinking, like, we've got to be getting, like, Game Boy stuff on Switch soon, right? And yeah, we have them now, so...
I think all of us could be playing that for days. I mean, for me, Game Boy Color was my very first console, so very big nostalgia for me, and I can't wait to see what games they bring up to the table.
Yeah, and Game Boy Advance was my first system that I owned, so...
Yeah, for all of us, nostalgia.
Yeah, even though none of the games that I played growing up are on the system, or are on the Switch Online catalog, because I only had, like, licensed games. So, what we have on Switch is, like, the childhood that I didn't have, basically.
Oh, you get to experience childhood twice now.
Yeah, Second Childhood, the sequel to Second Puberty.
And with that... and with that...
That's a reference.
And that's a wrap too, because I'll be honest, I did a lot of progress on this. With that, that's it for our reactions and our opinions on the Direct. I don't know what's gonna happen next month. We'll see what topics we come up next time. It's gonna be another random assortment of stuff that we'll talk, and we're probably gonna talk as much as we can. Let's just say.
Yeah.
Anyways, with that,
Yeah.
that's it for the podcast. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for content right there, follow Jackson on YouTube right there, and check out the other podcast over there with another video attached. Thank you guys so much for watching, but remember, the adrenaline rush is real. This is Lee Abner from 121 and Giles X signing out. We'll catch you guys next podcast. Peace.